A year ago, I would have definitely hesitated to do something that grand, knowing that everyday life was really a struggle and you can't take a vacation from that. My name is Lyra Replinger. I have had my cochlear implant now for 5 months. Being at the 5 month mark is actually pretty unbelievable. I cannot believe how I just use it all the time. It's just become second nature to hear with two ears all the time. The rehab process has been interesting. I've just tried to be disciplined that at least once a day, I'll do something where I'm just streaming directly to my ear or using my implant side only. I've been super happy with the ReDi app. What I found is that when I do those dedicated listening practices, when I use my device out in the real world, it just continues to become sounding more natural. It just sounds more natural to me. And it's just, I tell myself on a regular basis to just keep streaming, to keep putting the podcast in, just my implanted ear. And I just love hearing with both ears. It's just so natural to me. I love listening to podcasts. Amy Poehler's podcast, A Good Hang. I love that she has so many different guests, and it's, really easy to follow. It's a lighthearted conversation. I also like Kylie Kelsey's Not Gonna Lie. She talks a lot about motherhood, which it makes me like, it's just so relatable. But I feel like even if I can just listen to it directly to my implanted ear, at this point, I don't have to be paranoid about missing something. It really does sound so good. It streams perfectly. I'm hands-free. I can go about and, I watercolor. Those are some of the things that I like to do. And I used to really like to do that with sound. And so being able to do that with my cochlear implant and then also adding in a little bit of that listening practice, you can feel good about that for sure. I love the Rondo 3. I love the Sonnet 3. It's really, sometimes it's just about my outfit. And I found myself in this situation where I didn't have the right programming on one of my devices. And I thought, well, it would be hard to wear that because I don't have the right programming. And I really like the program that I have. And I was able to use the HearCare app, which was completely life-changing. The HearCare app lives on my phone and it connects to my processors. And so if there is a new map or configuration that is needed, I'm able to upload that into my device. And it all happened right there without having to go to a clinic appointment. I didn't have to get in my car. I didn't have to drive. I didn't have to valet park. I didn't have to sit in a waiting room just to get that done. It just all happened right in front of me in between me watching Instagram reels. It was kind of unbelievable. And it was just such a convenient way to get the things that I needed so that I could just go and live my life and be able to choose between the two devices. And I thought that was an incredible innovation. I look forward, here's the thing, I look forward to so many things in my future because I'm really not afraid. I look forward to meetings where I don't have to necessarily, it doesn't, live or die by my good ear or my bad ear. I don't even think I have a bad ear. I love hearing with both. So I think traveling is gonna be super enjoyable again. Being able to be, just feel like you're part of, a different country. My husband and I are planning on going to Europe, things like that a year ago, I would have definitely hesitated to do something that grand, knowing that everyday life was really a struggle and you can't take a vacation from that. And part of me is not, but part of me is truly just so grateful that I took advantage of all the innovations that were set up so that I could get the best access to the most natural sound possible through a hearing device. And, for me to walk around every day with one normal hearing ear that is taking a measurement of the sound around me and a cochlear implant that says, I can meet you there. I can match that. And it's gonna sound great. And it does. It just does what it's supposed to do. It's absolutely life-changing. I've said it for a long time, and now I can stand here and tell you it changed my life.